I believe to my core that we are meant to be strong and healthy, and we're not meant to deteriorate as we age. Now, of course, some things come up, and it's natural, like it's a natural progression as we age, but I don't feel like we have to be on medication as we age.
Welcome to Exploring Mind and Body with Drew Tadia. Drew is an expert in nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. And he wants to help you live a healthier, longer, and more active life. Now here's your host, Drew Tadia.
Welcome to another edition of nationally syndicated Exploring Mind and Body. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community, regardless of where you're listening to. We so much appreciate your time coming in to see what we have going on today. Now, this is going to be a longer show. This was actually pre-recorded as a Facebook Live. Now, I usually do Friday morning lives on my Facebook page, facebook.com/trueformlife. I usually do those every Friday morning, and this was one of those shows. I sit down with my audience, we chop it up, we have open conversation, and I thought, instead of our usual 30-minute show, why not just open this up to you? Every once in a while we do this too, maybe a bit more behind the scenes, less editing, more authentic, and it's just me talking about some of the struggles that I was going through, some of the chronic pain that I've struggled with, sometimes am still struggling with. Chronic pain is a very special issue. I think that unless you actually deal with it or go through it, you don't know what it's like. I certainly didn't. And that's not to say people can't empathize or sympathize, but it's a really challenging thing. My gosh, it's one of the most challenging things I've ever dealt with in my life. And I wanted to share that story with you guys of how I was able to find some results, how I was able to maybe get to the next level, if you will. Some people struggle with the chronic pain and the mental anguish, and I'll talk about all of it, every single thing I went through and been through. And then this show was a little bit ago. I mean, I will continue to work on my pain and reduce pain levels, and I think we all need to continue to reduce inflammation and pay attention to the foods we put in our body and the exercise that we put our bodies through. And regardless if that's, I think you have to look at the extremes. You have the extreme of it's too much stress on your body, or the other extreme of not enough exercise or zero exercise, which also puts stress on your body. So that's something that is worth considering. But at any rate, I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you enjoy the longer version of what I'm sharing with you, and I'd love your feedback. If you would like to share, send a message, or shoot us a message on social media, or let us know if you like the longer form. We can definitely do more of those, or if you prefer the quick 30-minute types of shows and interviews, we're going to continue on with those regardless, because we send those out to radio stations also. So radio stations all around the world. So thank you so much again for being here, and I hope you enjoy the show. Sit back and enjoy. We got all that coming up.
This is Exploring Mind and Body. Naturally improve your lifestyle one show at a time with your host, Drew Tadia.
Hey, good morning. So today we're going to talk about chronic pain. Chronic back pain in particular, but people deal with chronic pain in many different ways. So that's going to be the topic today. I did want to tell you about a couple other things, and I'm going to share my experience with some chronic pain. Good morning, Gloria. I'm having a really delicious tea this morning, and I got to tell you, our sugar detox is absolutely rocking. We're midweek. I think we officially started on Monday, and everyone is doing amazing. Amazingly amazing. And so Beverly Toes, she's part of the Fair Trade Association or committee here in Olds, and she donated some Tiga Fair Trade tea. And this was actually a prize for someone else, and I opened it. And I'm having some right now, but I have good intentions. So I'm actually going to buy this. I'm going to buy this one and ask her to bring another one for our winner. So I had to try it though. I'm a tea fanatic, if you guys didn't know, but this is it's herbal tea. It's mint ginger mint. I drink tea every day. So I thought, why not try some fair trade tea? Like, I'm big fans of fair trade and everything that they do. It's ethically sourced and they're sourced and they pay attention to the environment, proper wages, reduced slavery. Like, there's a bunch of crazy stuff that goes on in this world. Morning, Brenda, that we don't want to talk about or think about. So fair trade is definitely something that we would suggest trying and using and buying and supporting. So actually, you can buy this locally at Stang's, or there's a website. I think it's just fairtrade.ca, or these guys have a website, organic tea, Tiga organic tea. So we got Suzanne in here. Good morning, Suzanne. And Brenda said good morning too. Brenda, how you feeling? Are you at work today? I guess you wouldn't be here if you were at work today, would you? So I want to talk about chronic pain here, but I did want to mention Detoxify Yourself. So our book, Detoxify Yourself, you can see it right here. Brand new cover, brand new book, 150 brand new pages. Lots of brand news going on. Pretty excited about that. But I appreciate everyone's support. I just wanted to thank you guys for those of you that have purchased a copy. Most of you would be in the sugar detox now, but when that ends, beginning of next week, Monday, Tuesday, then the group will be over, but you can still purchase the book if you want one. Really excited about some of the new chapters. There's a whole new fitness chapter. There's a new supplements chapter we added in there. Stretching. Did I say fitness? There's a kombucha chapter. We talk about all the macronutrients. There's tons of... Oh, sorry, I just read Brenda's comment there. But there's a lot of different things that we've added to the new edition of the book, so I'm pretty excited about that. Brenda says, I'm off today, bruising coming out now. Yeah, didn't I suggest that? Or you suggested that, one of us. We figured that bruising was going to come. Brenda took a little bit of a spill and is now bruising. But that's a tough one. That sucks. Like, anytime you go through some kind of issue like that, or a bit of a... It's not chronic. I suppose it's different than chronic pain, but we all deal with pain on some level. Emotional pain. A lot of emotional pain going on right now. And he laughs. I don't laugh. I'm pretty sure you were laughing at me when I couldn't stand up because of my back. But I'm not laughing because you're in pain. I'm laughing because of... Well, we know you... I don't know if you have chronic pain, but you have like a chronic acute pain. Oh my gosh. When we talk about Dorothy Brenda in like a bubble, because she's always hurting herself. But you haven't, true story, but you haven't hurt yourself in a while. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. But I wanted to share a little bit about myself and the pain issue that I was going through. And I didn't really want to talk about it before, because I don't really want like sympathy, which is fine. Like I don't take it like offensively. I just don't need people that are like, oh, I'm so sorry for your pain, or like people go through some real pain in their lives, and for me, I feel like I can talk about it now. I'm not 100%, but I'm way better than I was, and I don't have the chronic pain at the moment, which is debilitating at times. And I want to share that with you guys, because I know a lot of people deal with pain on a regular basis, and I've never experienced pain like this. So I got into a car accident a couple years ago. I always say a couple years ago. That could be longer now. But I've had back pain since, and it wasn't like a high collision. So then you have to look at, I feel like mindset is something important. Like, things could be much worse. And that's what I always kept telling myself, like every day, like, you got to go through your exercise. You got to go through your pain, whatever it is. And sorry, my notifications here. You got to go through what you got to go through. And like, I feel like these are lessons in life for whatever reason. A lot of times we don't know why, or But I really feel like everything happens for a reason, and like I don't know why. I feel like for me, it's to help. We're in the healing business. We help people. We want to improve people's lives. So I feel like that gives me the opportunity to understand what other people are going through. So for me, it was like chronic pain for a couple of years, but it wasn't. But I didn't realize how bad it could get. To be 100% honest with you, I didn't realize it could get much worse. So my back was giving me issues on and off. And then I went through an issue where I just had an MRI, which I'm really fortunate for, because in most cases, the MRIs take a year. And we got back from LA, and I got a message from the MRI clinic, and it was like, hey, you're coming in next month. And I was like, okay. But here's the thing is like, I would never put down our medical industry, because they work so hard and they do the best they can, and they're understaffed, and like, especially right now, we're going through a lot of issues. But I don't believe everything they tell me, and that's just my own personal experience, my own personal perspective. So, and I feel like you should go and do your own research. You should go and find out what are the positives, what are the negatives. So, for example, I guess you don't know I don't want to like call anyone out, but for example, like my doctor was like, oh, you could probably just have some simple surgery and you'll be fine. And I'm like, simple surgery? Like, it's quite invasive. Like anytime they go around nerves, that's like anytime you're around your spine, like your brain, I don't think it's simple, but you have to understand, like, they do the best they can. And I feel like it's so easy to throw people under the bus. Like, you just say, oh, like, we don't take accountability for our own actions. So if something were to happen in surgery, you just blame, like, would I just blame them? Like, oh, it's all your fault. But I made that choice. It was an opinion. Someone shared an opinion, and then I would make a choice. And then you decide if that's what you want to do. So there has to be some accountability somewhere. And for them, like, that's what they do. That's what they know. That's what they study. Like, they studied medication. They studied surgery. That's what they do. So if you want an opinion, a different opinion from someone else, you have to go somewhere else and get a different opinion. And for me, like, I heard, and like, this is, of course you hear those people that are like, oh, it's so nice that you're a doctor now and you self-medicate, or, you self-prescribe, or you've fixed like Google fixed your diagnosis or gave you a diagnosis just because you read up online. But I mean, you have to do your own research. And now there's so much research out there. There's so many you can do. You can read case studies. You can read like professional official documentation of what has happened in the past, what is happening. And I feel like we should do more of that instead of just taking someone's word for it. And like, I wouldn't say, like, I believe there's a place and time for surgery, and I'm very grateful that we have the ability to do that. And especially in North America, most of us are able to go and get surgery, especially in Canada. It's a bit easier. But we still have to understand that the choices that you make are your choices. So you have to make the best choice for you. So I went around and I looked, and I read some studies that said that maybe surgery isn't the best option because of other issues that could come in along down the lines. Maybe not even just acute. So I wasn't really super excited about surgery. And that's what the MRI was for. So you need a diagnosis from an MRI, and then the doctor reads the MRI. Actually, I don't even think she reads it. She gets it sent back, like, from some specialist, and then they tell her what it is. And then they make a recommendation, like, maybe you need, like, it's probably a good idea to have surgery. And like, so for me, I feel like she called and it was like muffled. I could hardly hear, but you can't get, like, it takes you weeks to get a phone call for that with them. So Suzanne says, nobody knows your body better than you do. You're 100% true, Suzanne. Like, I believe that to my core. Like, I feel like we ignore clear signs. Like, we ignore them. We don't want to see them. It's easy to turn a blind eye because it'd be easier to say, okay, I'm just going to go get surgery. That should fix everything. at any rate, what I'm trying to get at is I think it was a bulging disc. She said it wasn't a ruptured disc. I think it was a bulging disc. I couldn't really hear what she said. But when I was looking through some of my research, it said that most people, like a good number of people in my age range, have a bulging disc and don't even know it. The problem is the bulging disc, it could rub up against your nerve, which is your sciatic nerve. In my case, it went down my left leg, but it could go down in different places in different ways. And that's what I was dealing with was chronic pain. And again, chronic pain, it was only 4 months for me. And I know people that deal with, the extreme chronic pain was 4 months, and I thought it would never end, and it was excruciating, and I couldn't think really well. Like my moods were up and down, my emotions were crazy, and I had to deal with this on a regular basis. And then I was very conscious of how I treated other people and how you talk to people. But I got to tell you, like, my toes were numb. Like my toes were numb. I had aching, throbbing in the top of my foot. My calf was on fire most of the time, most of the day. Like my calf would just burn all day long. And like very few things. Like and I'm holistic. Like I believe in modalities. I believe in practitioners. And I wouldn't say nothing really made a big difference, but I feel like they all made a small difference. So I tried chiro and physio and acupuncture and nothing really was like, wow, that really made a big difference. But I also feel that these things made a small difference to bring me to where I am today, where at least I can talk about this. I wouldn't talk about it before because it was too emotional. I was in too much pain, and I didn't feel like anything I did helped, so it wouldn't be beneficial to you guys. Like what can I do to share in my experience with you guys if I can't even help myself? And I guess that makes me a little emotional because I feel like, oh no, I dropped Detoxify Yourself. Detoxify Yourself was talking to us. Maybe it wants us to talk about Detoxify Yourself more. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. And if it doesn't stand up, then we're going to have to not use that stand anymore. Sorry about that. But okay, so there's a handful of things that I did do that I believe helped, and I'm out of pain right now. Like I'm very fortunate. Like right now, so I think chronic pain is after 2 months. I don't know. Like I'm sure there's different definitions, but when I was reading about it, chronic pain was after 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that. And for me, mine lasted at least 4 months, around the 4-month mark. And that was excruciating pain, like pain nerve pain that I've never experienced before and never want to experience again. Just throbbing, constant pain. Like every time I'd wake up, I often wouldn't sleep throughout the night. It was quite challenging. And that was difficult for me as my own type of practitioner as well, or healing agent, is that like if I can't, like everything that we do and teach, I experiment on ourself. Like we try meal plans, we try recipes, we try workouts, we help people feel better about themselves. And I was like, it was really difficult for me as being in this profession and being like, I can't fix this. But I think we have to understand we're not in control of everything either. So, but some of the things that I did do that I wanted to share with you. So one of the things was, we got a new mattress, and I know like that's expensive, and some people may think that that's not going to make a big difference, but I feel like all these little things would make a difference. And so the mattress that we had, it wasn't very new, and it was springs. So my main pain was on my left side, so I had a really difficult time sleeping on my left side. But if you're always on your right side, like I've done some research, and studies have shown sleeping on your belly is not a good thing. And it also kind of bothered my back years before my accident. So I don't really sleep on my belly. And then on my back, it was too painful. Like I was very uncomfortable sleeping on my back. So I could either sleep on one side or the other. And it was really difficult to sleep on my left side, and always sleeping on my right side actually gave me pain in my right hip. So then, and I was also very conscious of this. So here's the thing is when someone goes through an injury, so let's say you have a knee injury and you're limping, you put more pressure on your right knee, then I wouldn't say the pain transfers over, it doesn't like jump over to another limb, but because of the compensation, you start to have pain on your right side. Morning, Jane. Jane says she's been listening for a while. Jane's in our Fit Fam, and I know I talked about this briefly, about the pain I was going through. Not too much, but at any rate. So sleeping on one side all the time was giving me pain on the other side. So that was a challenge. At any rate, we went and got another mattress, and it was, I don't know if it's the memory foam, but I can go and tell you if anyone's interested. I can go and find the brand name for you, but I'm telling you, like, that made a difference without question. It's like changing our mattresses isn't something that we think about, and like I didn't think about it. Like it's just a mattress; it'll be fine. Like you sleep in hotel rooms, we have a different mattress in LA, so I didn't think the mattress alone would make a big difference. But the mattress definitely made a difference. It's much more comfortable. Actually, when we go other places like hotel, family, like I said, we have our place in LA. I want to keep this mattress. I want to take it with us everywhere we go. It's super comfortable. So I would consider changing your mattress. Sleeping with a pillow between your legs is something that was also beneficial for me. And I still do it. And I feel like I've heard this from a few different practitioners, and I didn't really think much of it. And I was like, well, you know what? I was at the point where I would do anything or try anything. And here's the thing is that I'm not going to tell you anything that's going to be groundbreaking. Like it's not going to be one thing that changed everything, but that's the point. Like that's the point of what I want to teach you and talk about today is that every little thing helps and every little thing matters. Like it makes a difference. We always say how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're going to go and do one thing, let it be everything. Oh, put that on a t-shirt. If you're going to do one thing, let that be everything, because we want to strive for excellence. I always say we're not perfect, but we strive for perfection. And whenever I lay down, so it just makes your hips a bit different. So I think our hips close in a bit, like as our legs close, our hips close in a bit, and that puts some pressure on your hips. If you put pressure on your hips, you're putting pressure on your lower back. And if you could widen your knees a little bit with a pillow, that lines up your hips a little bit better, which lines up your spine and your back a little bit better. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, if I haven't said it before, I'm not a specialist, not a back specialist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a chiro. I had a really hard time finding a specific area of expertise. So for me, I'm a self-learner. I was like, okay, I'm pretty sure, oh shoot, give me 1 second. I forgot to plug my computer in, and I just got a notification that my computer is going to die. There. I hope that's charged. I hope that's charging. I'm enjoying sharing this with you guys. This is a personal, like I don't share everything personal about myself, but I appreciate you coming in here and hanging out with me and listening. So I watched every single YouTube video I could find on bulging. I didn't know it was a bulging disc at that time. I still don't know. I think that's what the doctor said, but I told you, like, it was all muffled. And from what she was saying, the only real answer that they could offer me was surgery, and I don't want surgery. So I didn't hang my hat on the MRI. It doesn't mean anything to me, to be honest with you. She said it's not a ruptured disc, which is good news, I guess, which is probably why I don't have any more pain. But I'm continually conscious of what's going on. And see, here's the thing is that when your pain kind of goes away or you start to get better, it happens with people like we know of people from the weight loss industry or people in the fitness industry that want to lose weight. That's why we say we don't lose weight. We want to change your life forever. That's what we can offer you. The weight loss industry is different. It's completely different, even though everyone thinks it's the same. The weight loss industry is I want to lose weight for a bikini competition. I want to lose weight for a wedding, for a weekend, for the summer. We don't do that, because when someone starts to feel better, they lose some weight and they go back and gain a bunch of weight. That's not what I want to help people with. It's not my goal. It's not my mission in life. I want to change people's lives forever. So when I started to feel a little bit better, I stopped doing some of these things. I was like, oh, the pain's gone. I don't need to do these things. But the thing is, I'm not 100%, and I want to be 100%. Like, I want to get 100% mobility back. And the thing is, like, it's that mindset. It really is. Like, I believe to my core that we are meant to be strong and healthy, and we're not meant to deteriorate as we age. Now, of course, some things come up, and it's natural, like it's a natural progression as we age, but I don't feel like we have to be on medication as we age. I just talked to a lady on the phone about her supplements. She used to work at a health food store, and she told me she's 72 years old, not on one single medication. I thought that was fantastic. And if you need medication, that's great. And I know, I'm not trying to put everyone down. I know most of the population is on at least a couple. That's just statistics. Canada, FDA, like it's North America, where that's what they do. That's what I was talking about here with our doctors. Like, that's what they're trained to do. So when we go and see a physician, in most cases, they prescribe you with some type of medication. I went in there. I went in to see the doctor one time, and we had a brief conversation, and they went and gave me some pills. And I was like, I don't need those. Like, why are you giving those to me? Like, oh, well, they could help. And like, you don't need to take them every day. Just take them once in a while. And I was like, if I don't need them, then I'm not going to take them. So, but I feel like that's their job. Like, they want to medicate. Like, that's what they do. Like, they offer medication. They're trained in medication. So I don't fault them for that. That's their job. So when you go see a doctor, a lot of people expect medication instead of, like, I'm looking for an answer. Like, can you tell me why this is happening? Can you tell me how to fix it, how to prevent it? And in most cases, they don't have those answers. The answer is here. This is what we can do for you. So if that's what you want, fantastic. Like, go ahead and let them, hopefully they can help you in that regard, give you some medication. And that's just not the road that I personally choose to go down. So when it comes to some of the things that really made a difference, I talked about the bed briefly. I talked about laying on, using a pillow between your knees. That was beneficial. I'd imagine certain practitioners wouldn't appreciate this, but I actually bought myself some cupping. And I'm really like Eastern. I really like Eastern, not religion. Well, religion too, but healing. Eastern, like, could be Ayurvedic or just could be Eastern medication, herbology, like all that stuff, teas, powders, potions, all that interests me. And cupping's been used for not quite as long as acupuncture or dry needling, which I read is a bit different. Only from the needles are the same, but only from where you put them on your body. So I got some cups, and for a long time, twice a day, I would put cups on my lower back and hips, and it's very simple, and it's not that invasive. It's not like a needle. You put all you do is put the cup on, and you. We did that for Dorothy, and it really helped her recover for her marathon and stay strong and healthy. She's been doing that consistently, and she's ran every single day this year. She's around day 275. So that definitely made a difference. Those cups. I know that even sounds extreme. Excuse me. I know that even sounds extreme to some people, but I was willing to do whatever it took to get my pain to go away. And I don't think many people are. Like, every day I would watch videos, and I'd read documents on how to help with bulging discs, or how to help with lower back pain, or how to help sciatica. And there's another one. There's a couple of them in that area. It's another one. It's a long word that I can't really think of right now, but there's something else that happens in your glute, and it's like basically like a knot, and that knot builds up, and it puts pressure on your sciatica, and it runs down your leg as well. So that's sciatic pain, but I don't know if that's sciatica, because sciatica usually starts in your lower back and then runs down your leg, but this actually starts in your glute. So many times people are trying to treat the lower back, trying to fix the lower back. They maybe misdiagnose that it's a bulging disc or ruptured or slipped disc, and it's actually, the pain is originating in the glute. I wish I could remember it. It's like a phosphorus, one of those Latin words. But at any rate, it's very difficult to go to one practitioner or go to get you can't even go to an x-ray. What's interesting is like they tried to send me for a bone scan, and they're like, go see, like I didn't need it. They're just like, but that's what they do. Like it's all through elimination. Like, let's give you as many things as we can to see what works. And I wasn't really willing to do that because I didn't want to deal with the side effects and long-term side effects. So to do a bone scan, you have to drink some kind of fluid, I think it's like, you have to drink some kind of fluid. What is it? I can't think, it'll come back to me. And I was reading about it, and it could be detrimental to your health long-term. Radiation, I think it's some type of radiation. The blue has to show up on the bone scan. And I was like, the blue is going to go into my bones so they can see my bones through the scan. Anyways, I called them and I said, I'm not coming. I did some research and I read that it could offer long-term side effects. And then I talked to some I know a ton. I used to work at a hospital. At least I used to run fitness classes at a hospital. I know a ton of nurses. I know a bunch of people in the healthcare industry. I asked their professional opinions and they told me. And then I made my own educated decision. And I said, I'm not putting that blue stuff in my body. No, thanks. So I didn't go and do that bone scan. But I don't think I needed it. I think she told me that because it's probably going to take you 9 months to get an MRI, let's do a bone scan and see if that shows anything. And I'm like, but the bone scan would show my bones, and we're trying to look at my spine. And we're trying to look at the disc. We're trying to look at the discs, and it's the cartilage. It's not the bone. It's not the vertebrae. It's what's in them. So everyone explains it this way: is that your discs run this way, your spine runs this way. Of course, the vertebrae runs this way, and when your disc bulges, it's like a jelly donut that like squishes out the side, and then that bulge pushes on the nerve, which is where that pain comes in. And I was like, if it's not a bone, if I don't absolutely need that test, like 100% to diagnose and possibly treat, no thank. That was my decision. And it turned out that I didn't need it. And I had an MRI in a month anyway. So no thanks. That's the thing. Like, I'm very conscious of what goes in my body. And that wasn't something I was interested in. So you move on and you try something else. And it says, good morning. Good morning to you, Anna. Love your energy. I too want an answer, or better yet, natural, practical prevention of disease in a way to maintain wellness. 60 and no meds. Awesome, Anna. Fantastic. Thank goodness. And I hope to keep it that way and keep getting healthier and stronger every day. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Same page, same team. That's what it's all about. You know what? There's a book. I interviewed this guy and I really wanted to check out this book he was talking about. But one of the things that he said was, as you age, like we should never die from old age. Like our health shouldn't decline until we finally, like medication. Here's what happens. What I believe happens, like you get a little bit older and then you stop moving. That's one thing, especially at least here in Canada. And we noticed that much different in LA because the weather's nicer. There's more things to do. You can get outside and get active. So we see people that are 60, 70, 80, 90 years old playing volleyball, riding bikes, running. Some of them sit down and ride bikes, like whatever they're doing. That age group there is much older, much more active, and much healthier. So what happens is, as we get older, we go through some chronic pain, we go through some injuries, and then we stop moving, and then we usually go to medication, and that medication offers more medication, and then then our health continually declines, and then we stop moving, so we don't have any activity going, and then the less we move, the less calories we burn, so the less food we eat. So we're not moving, we're still medicated, and we're not eating food. We need nutrients. And then that's when we see, like we hear from friends or family members, like we know whatever type of hospital that you're in, when your days are getting shorter, coming to an end, you eat less and less food, which is really scary to me because when someone stops eating, you can't get nutrients in their body. How can you possibly survive? How can you live much longer? So that's how I feel it works. That's my personal opinion. I'm not going to tell you any facts or statistics on that. I'm just saying like that's what I see. And then, like I said, this whole show here is my own personal experience. I'm not telling you someone else's. I'm not reading. I'm not telling you that I'm certified in anything. I'm just telling you what happened with me and how I was able to make a difference in my life. Jane says, yeah, moving is good. Walking as I'm listening to you. Awesome. You should do it. Do a little picture. Send a little picture. Maybe a selfie. You know what I thought was cool? I tried to get this earlier from Exploring Mind and Body, a radio show and podcast. I always thought it was cool to, like, when you're listening to the show, take a picture of where you're listening. Every once in a while, someone will do that. I think it's really cool to see where someone is while they're listening to you have a conversation. So going back to the different things that I've tried. See, when you have compression, like most of us, we sit most of the day. One of the things that I did is I didn't buy a stand-up desk, but this desk here, I started standing. So I stand more often, and I'm quite active. I don't sit all day long without question. I couldn't. I don't sit for 6, 7, 8 hours, but I do sit for stretches of I could probably sit for, I don't know if I could sit for an hour straight, an hour or two. But I usually I'm drinking water and tea all day, so I got to get up and go to the bathroom. But still, like, I'm getting up and moving. I think some people could probably sit in one spot for 3 or 4 hours. But I got to stand. I didn't buy a stand-up desk yet, but that's something that I was researching and looking into and learning about the benefits of it. So when we're sitting, we are sitting in a position where our back is curved a bit and it's not flexed like right now. I'm not sitting in a flexed position like I should be. I'm just leaning back and relaxing a little bit here. But when you're standing up, your back is more flexed and you're more upright. So that helps with posture. And that's super important as well to understand that your back and your posture has to be upright more times than they're not. In most cases, I don't sit like that. It's not comfortable for me. I sit like a little hunched over. I think most people do, which is where that lower back issues come in. But for so now I've been standing most of the day, and I feel like that's making a big difference. So I can't stand for too long, because then I feel like I'm actually putting pressure on my back. You know, when it's a shopping thing. I could work out I always say I could work out, I could run all day, but ask me to go shopping, my feet hurt, my back start to hurt. But if I stand in one spot for too long, I get that same kind of discomfort in my lower back. So not standing in one spot. So I go from different places. Like, I sit down. Sometimes I sit for a little bit, but I try to stand more than I sit. And then I'm always moving, going back and forth from different rooms of the house. And that's been beneficial as well. So considering a stand-up desk could be very beneficial. I did talk about those suction cups. That could be something of interest if you want to experiment with it. You have to know, like, I've tried to talk to practitioners. I've asked acupuncturists, massage therapists that use them. And it's not that invasive. I have tried a bit more invasive things. I don't know if I should tell you about all of them. Only because you get those people that are like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. You're not trained. But it's my body. I should be able to do what I want with it. You pay a trained practitioner, given they've gone to school, and they've studied and they've learned, they're a practitioner. But then you pay them to do things to your body, and I'm like, I should be able to do what I want. But you get those people that are a bit judgy, and they're like, oh, how could you do that to yourself? But there's a whole world of that. Like, I know there's a whole biohacking world. Like, I've read some books of people that were doing some crazy things to themselves, and some turned out really good and some didn't turn out great. And some, they've actually hurt themselves badly, but usually it turns out for the better. But for me, like, I always experiment on my own body in most cases. So that cupping thing made a difference for me. The Thera Gun, I bought a Thera Gun. It's like one of those handheld massage guns. And that thing's fantastic, I got to tell you. I wanted one for a long time, and I never really took action to get one. And then, because there could be upwards of $200. And anyway, I got one, and it's fantastic. So I use that in my lower back. I try to use it for at least 5 minutes every day. Sometimes two times, 2 5-minute stretches in the morning and in the evening. And I use it on my shoulder. Like, some of my shoulder gets tight here, so I'll use it on my shoulder. I wish I had it here with me. It's not here. And then I use it in my lower back, and I use it in my glutes and hamstrings. You can use it on your IT band. If you have someone that can do that with you or for you, like, it's really good for runners. Like, runners don't stretch and they have IT band issues. Runners go through a lot of injuries actually because they don't stretch and usually don't eat all that well. But that gun definitely made a difference. Hot baths really made a difference for me. Of course, we're in the supplement world. Supplements made a big difference. Like, we use the bath flakes in a hot bath, and I feel like I've been doing a giant monologue. Does anyone have any questions that I can answer for you through my own experience, not as a practitioner? I would like to know if any of you are dealing with chronic pain right now. Maybe that's beneficial. I'm going to do an online course about lower backs, and just from my, like I said, my own experience. Like, I'm going to put this together in a course, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to learn from each other. I always feel I learn more from you guys than you learn from me, but I really want to know what kind of pain people are going through, what's helped, how we can help. And maybe we can put together a program that could help others improve their chronic pain. I know a lot of people deal with it. And I got to tell you, like, it is debilitating. When I was going through my own issues, like, it was so, like, I would plan to get better. Like, in my mind, mentally, I would plan to get better each day. And I just wanted a little improvement. Like, if I was just a little bit better today, then I could build on something. I could get a little bit better and maybe a little bit less pain. And if I would wake up and I was in a lot of pain, I would be emotionally like it just crushed me emotionally. Like, oh, another day of pain. It's not getting any better. And then the same thing. And then I was like, okay, then I'd break it down. Like, okay, there's no pain in the morning. Maybe there'll be no pain in the afternoon. And then when that pain came in the afternoon, emotionally, I'd be back to ground zero or negative. And then it was really challenging. That was 4 months, and it felt like 4 years, to be honest with you. And it was like one day after the other. And sooner or later, like, I had a little bit less pain. And then the pain, like, one day I'd have less pain, and then the pain would come back full tilt the next day. And then I would have less pain for 2 days. And then that third day it would come back angry. It was coming back infuriating that it was gone for a couple of days. So it was even worse. But then the pain would go away for 4 days and I'd feel better. So, and then the pain wouldn't be all day long. It'd only be instead of morning, afternoon, evening, it would be pain just morning and afternoon, not in the evening. That was rare, actually. It was the other way around. It would usually in the morning, I think is because I wasn't moving very well. I was on a nice mattress. I had the pillow, and not very well. I wasn't moving very much. It seemed like the more I moved, and I'm an active person, so I'd want to go work out. So if I had a day where I felt a little bit better, I had a harder workout, and then I paid for it. And then I wasn't able to run. Like, I still haven't really running. I do short stretches of running, but I haven't really been able to run longer than 10 minutes probably, because I don't want to put that pressure back on it just yet. I will. Trust me. Suzanne says, I lived with chronic pain for over 20 years. Where's your pain, Suzanne, if you would like to share with us? Brenda says, yes, the daily hour-long bath with magnesium flakes has definitely helped me with this. Pain is exhausting. Pain is exhausting. It is. Pain is exhausting in so many ways. Like, I feel like we're so emotionally wrapped up in the pain. Like, oh, it's so painful. Like everything goes to that pain emotionally, physically. You just want that pain to be gone. And then it comes back, or it's still there. And it just sucks the life out of you. It really does. So what was it? I was saying about the supplements was the thing. So Brenda mentioned the bath flakes. The bath flakes make a huge difference. And there's a big difference between Epsom salts and magnesium flakes. Epsom salts are magnesium sulfate, very low on the absorption scale. Then you look at magnesium chloride, which is bath flakes, is at the highest form of absorbability that you can get. So you have to look at two different things. So you have people that are dealing with chronic pain, and all they're doing is bathing in Epsom salts, which is probably doing very little. Then you go to bath flakes, for example, magnesium chloride, and you feel 100% different, much better than with Epsom salts. So education around that. I use magnesium gel and or spray every day, twice a day. I'd put that all over. I put that on my lower back, down my leg. I put it all over my body after a bath or a shower, even if I bath in magnesium flakes. But some days, like when my pain first hit, the only thing would really relieve that pain is going straight to the bath. So first thing that I do in the morning is run a bath, and I'd sit in the bath. Whoa. Excuse me. And I'd sit in a mag flake bath for 20 to 40 minutes. That was just to start my day because I was in so much pain. I didn't feel like I could do anything else. Suzanne said, I'm better in the afternoon than in the morning. I have fibromyalgia and lower back pain as well as arthritis. Thanks for sharing that, Suzanne. It's so challenging dealing with that pain, but I feel like there's things that we can do about that. And that's why I'm here talking about, like, I didn't accept that. I didn't accept that I was going to go through this pain. I was going to be miserable. I didn't feel like surgery was the answer, at least at this point in my life. And I didn't feel like I had to accept this and there's nothing that I could do. I didn't feel powerless. I did feel powerless, but my mind said, there has to be a way. There has to be a way to fix this and help my body. And that's all I was trying to do. Like, our body wants to heal itself. All I was thinking of is how I can help my body heal itself. That's why I was going through these different things. Bone broth was something. Brenda actually helped me out with that. Bone broth is something that I still drink every morning. That helps with this healing process. Tons of vitamins and minerals, and especially collagen that we need to help our ligaments and joints build back stronger. So I still drink. I'm almost out of it, actually, Brenda. But drinking bone broth, so that would be a food supplement, if you will. Then we're on point, so I was taking liquid magnesium on a regular basis. Definitely helps in many different areas. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else, just the greens and supplementing properly. But then you could look at food, like food in general. I tried to stay very conscious of staying away from anti-inflammatory foods. Staying away from alcohol and sugar. Actually, I did go out, and I was in pain on a regular basis. I went out, and I had one of those days. I went and hung out with some friends, and we had a few beers, and I had some deep fried appetizers. I did do a really good job of activated charcoal and chlorella, both binding, both detoxing, but my pain was 3 times as bad just from the alcohol and from the inflammatory foods. So that's how I knew for a fact that staying extra focused on my food, no matter how frustrated I was, no matter how little results that I saw, that food will make a difference and will help reduce my pain. I drink the bone broth cold. Hot. I couldn't imagine drinking it cold, Suzanne. It's like you have to. I'm not like we don't really eat animal products. At least very little animal products. So meat kind of grosses me out a little bit, to be honest with you. So you're drinking it's like home. I don't know how they do it. If you go buy a store-bought one, I'm guessing it's similar, but you have the bone broth and it's got a little bit of fat in there. It's a bit oily. I couldn't imagine drinking that cold. So I drank it along with my tea. I actually usually have a tea on one side and the bone broth on the other side. And I really feel like that made a difference. I do. There's tons of studies around bone broth and helping heal and cure and all the minerals and vitamins that it has to offer. And like I said, on top of that, we don't really eat animal products. So I thought that bone broth would help in that area. And don't get me wrong, I don't think you have to consume animal products, but especially in this healing phase, like I said, I feel like there's a reason for everything. I feel like our bodies are meant to be strong and healthy, but we go through these things for a reason. But you have to have that mindset. You have to have that mindset of that I can heal, I can help, I can be cured. And I don't live in a magical world where I don't believe that no one needs surgery, nobody needs medication. Everyone's in their own position. I'm just sharing my experience. And I really felt like I could do this. I did. I really felt like I have to do this. I have to be able to tell my story. I have to teach people that I was able to heal myself. And I felt like really defeated when we went down that road of maybe I have to have surgery. Because if you go through too much chronic pain, especially when it comes to nerve, you could damage the nerve. I read about that as well. And I knew that could be an option. And I was grateful that was, but it's not something that I wanted to do. And still, you don't know about these things. Like, you don't know it could come back tomorrow. I don't know. I don't believe that. I feel like I've turned the corner and will continue to get stronger. And I'm doing a little bit more things to make sure that happens. But that's where I'm at with that. Suzanne says, LOL, I had to ask. That's fine. You can definitely ask questions, but I would never drink bone broth cold. And it says, my life has been an ongoing journey of dealing with various structural pain. I've had awful prognosis, but keeping working at coming above it with movement and gems of education and natural helpful products like yours. Also have had some repairs and replacement parts. We need maintenance too. Yeah, we definitely need maintenance. Thanks for that. And like I said, like, everyone's on their own path. I'm not here to judge. I'm not even here to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did. Sometimes we need a replace. Like, we don't know what happened 20 years ago, 50 years ago. Like, for me, I was a high impact player. I played sports for years. I say it was probably from the car accident, but it could have been from sports. Like, it could have weakened certain areas from sports. It could have been one collision. We had collision as baseball. It wasn't like hockey or football. I played high school football. It could have been high school football, but we had collisions in baseball. I did flips. I kind of think it could have something to do with my flipping stage. But for probably a good year, I really wanted to learn a front flip, which I did. And I did front flips for hours. And that's all I would do on mats and springboards. And like, that impact, that could have had something to do with it. Like, we don't know. We don't know what happened in a past life. We don't know what happened in, 10, 20, 30 years ago, whatever it is. So you may need a knee replacement. You may need a hip replacement. Like, I'm not here to say that you should or shouldn't do that. Maybe, like, I think you need to do that research for yourself. You need to talk to practitioners. You need to figure out what's best for your own body. Like Suzanne said, we don't know we know what's best for our own body. I really feel that. Even if you go to a doctor or you go to a practitioner, maybe it's a holistic nutrition, whatever it is, you're going to talk to them, you have the conversation, and they're going to give you their recommendation. And then you have to do what's best for you. You have to do what you feel is right. And I want to tell you about Pete Agostku, because I read his book and I really align with his beliefs. So I believe he was in the military, and he is really a posture guy. That's what he does, like 100% posture. He says if we don't have proper posture, nothing is working properly in our body. We don't breathe properly. We don't think properly. We don't move properly. He's all about posture. And I feel like when I started to do his exercises, I started to see, like I said, nothing I'm going to tell you is going to be life-changing, but one of the most significant things was when I was doing his exercises is that I felt like my back was actually getting better. And even though, like, I do them every day still, sometimes I do them twice a day, and I feel like I lost my train of thought. I feel like that's made a difference for sure. Even though some days are always up and down. Like I said, with that pain, I'm just grateful. Like, every day I wake up, like when I walk to the mailbox, which is a half a block away, and I'm like, great, like, living in that state of gratitude. I know it's like some people, it's like flighty or cheesy or whatever. Like, I think it makes a big difference. Like, I could be like, I'm not 100%, so I could be miserable that, like, oh, it's been 2+ years since my car accident. It's been over 4 months since I had the chronic pain or a slip disc or whatever it was. I could be miserable, like, but I feel like that's the energy that you're putting through your body and on your body, that misery, that pain, this discomfort. So I could have that frame of mind and I'm like, well, I should be 100% right now. And I probably did have that early on, but I changed that to gratitude. Like, every day I'm like, oh my, I'm so grateful to wake up without pain. I'm so grateful I could walk to the mailbox, or I could walk around the block and not continually consciously think about, oh, like some days, like I'm telling you, and I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about. Some days were like so painful that you can't think, you can't process, you can hardly have a conversation with someone. And then like, it's my customer service is part of my job. And you have people, sometimes you have people complaining, or everybody wants a special, everyone wants to be treated special, which we try to do, but you want to bend the rules and you want to accommodate. And then some days my patience was just so thin because I had so much pain. It was really difficult to deal with that. But I never wanted to show that with anyone. I never wanted to show that I was going through pain. I never wanted to take my frustration out on someone else. And some days were more challenging than others, but I feel like that's life. And that's what we have to go through. Suzanne says, I have good days and bad days. I really understand. Thanks, Suzanne. And I feel like that's helped me understand other people as well, because I've dealt with pain, usually like acute pain. Like this one time I was jumping on boxes and I fell off the box. The boxes were quite high. I fell off the boxes. I hurt my wrist. And that was like a bit of chronic pain. And I would really like to do handstands. I wasn't able to do handstands for a good stretch, probably a few months. And I want to learn, that was the only like real chronic pain that I've understood. But now it gives me the opportunity to understand people on a deeper level, people that really deal with chronic pain, because you experience yourself. If you've never experienced what someone else is going through, you can't fully understand what they're doing. And like, we have so much judgment, especially in this world today. Like, we have so much judgment. We have so many people casting their own opinions and expectations on other people, but you don't know unless you're walking in someone else's shoes. Like, how could you possibly know what someone's going through, why they made the decisions that they make, what they're going through personally, what their plans are in the future, what happened to them in the past? But still, like, I mean, media is one of the worst things that we could possibly do is watch the news and listen to them clearly divide individuals. But we have to make our own decisions. And if we can do that without judgment, I think we'd be so much better off as a society, as individuals, as people as human beings, like treating people as human beings. A couple other things I want to talk about. I'm gonna wrap things up here soon, but the ice bath for me was night and day difference. The ice bath was absolutely amazing. I know this is a stretch. I know most people won't do it, but understand my mindset is that I was willing to do anything to heal myself. Most people aren't. I was willing to try anything to make it work. And sitting in an ice bath, so it's actually called hot cold therapy. It's a thing. Some people will do it with their foot. So if you sprain your ankle, or if you have a swollen ankle, you put your foot in hot water, then you put in cold water. 10, 15 minutes, you go back and forth. 5 minutes, you increase the blood flow so you can help heal quicker. This is what I did with my entire body. Because your lower back and your spine basically control your entire body. So we have a sauna, and the sauna is like a individual, like a personal size sauna. Only thing that's kind of funny, the only thing that sticks out is your head. And we actually got that as a Christmas gift last Christmas, I think, or the Christmas before, last Christmas. Anyways, it's great for the immune system. It's great for detoxing, sweating out toxins. There's tons of health benefits to saunas. And so I would sauna. This is what I still do. I do it once a week now. I was doing it 3 days a week. Maybe I should go back to that. I was doing it 3 days a week a couple weeks ago for a good stretch. But now I do it once a week, and that's what's usually recommended. But I'm still trying to heal myself. So I sit in the sauna for 15 minutes, then I go in the ice bath. So I fill up the water with 100% cold water. Then we have these ice packets. I have, 20 of these ice packets. And I use the ice packets because then I'm not going to buy ice. I feel like it's a bit of a waste because you dump all the ice bags in the tub and then you just let it drain out. With the ice bags, I can reuse them. So it's a no-brainer to me. And then I'm not running to the store to get ice every, 3 times a week or once a week or every day, whatever it is. So I put the water on cold as I can do it. And then I get these ice packs and I put the ice packs in the tub. Excuse me. And then I let the ice pack sit in the cold water for an hour probably. And then I'll run the sauna. And I'll sit in the sauna for 15 minutes. Then I'll go in the ice tub for 10 minutes. Then I'll go back in the sauna for 10 minutes, and I'll go back I do 3 rounds, and I go back in the ice tub for 10 minutes. Hey, Mom. Yep, I'm still alive. Just wrapping things up here. I only got a couple more suggestions, but you can catch the end of this. So let me start from the beginning. Sauna for 15 minutes. Then I go in the ice tub for 10 minutes. Sauna for 10 minutes. Ice tub for 10 minutes. Sauna for 5 minutes. Ice tub for 5 minutes. Then I'm done. And I've got to tell you, like, I feel like a brand new person, like energized. My muscles are like alive and vibrant. I feel fantastic. I feel like everyone should try that if you have the ability. I know, like, most people aren't going to sit in an ice tub anyways to begin with, but most people don't have like their own sauna. But if you do have that, they actually have a thing here in Alberta in Kananaskis. It's called, I don't know what it's called. Does anyone know what it's called? It's called something like some kind of therapy, hot cold pool therapy. And I'm sure there's research around the benefits of it. So they have different saunas around. They have hot tubs. They have ice tubs. They have eucalyptus. So at any rate, I feel like that really made a difference also, the ice tub, like the hot cold therapy. That's okay. We just appreciate you guys showing up whenever you can make it. But I didn't finish with my Pete Agostku. So I got his book and I started reading his exercises. Oh, Hydrotherapy. Hey, Alicia. Didn't know you were in here with us. Nice to see you. It's called Hydrotherapy, I guess. So that really made a big difference for me in healing. And I still enjoy doing it. It's a mental twist. But here's the thing is, like, when you sit in an ice tub, it's freezing for like a minute, maybe 30 seconds, a minute. It's cold, but then your body pretty much goes numb. And then you just sit there. And it's a bit uncomfortable, but it's not like people think it's like freezing, like crazy, miserable madness. Like, how do you do that for 10 minutes or 15, whatever it is? I don't even notice it, to be honest with you. You sit there for a couple minutes, you go freezing cold. It's much easier if you go in the sauna first and then in the ice tub. I've done ice baths without going in the sauna. So I definitely recommend, if you have the opportunity to use a sauna, and then ice, that would be much better. Okay, so to wrap things up with Pete Agostku, he's got this thing called the Agostku Method, and there's actually clinics around. It started in Southern California, and he actually has clinics not far from Redondo Beach, where we stay half the year. But it's called the Agostku Method, so I highly suggest it. It's all about posture. He does very simple exercises. Some of it is laying on your back, and your feet are at 90 degrees. And I know he's got a couple books. I read one, and I would like to go back and grab the newer version. Like one of the exercises, laying on your back and putting your feet at 90 degrees. That's it. And that shifts your whole, because we're always standing, right? Like we're standing, we're putting pressure on our lower back, on our spine, on our vertebrae, and on discs. So just laying there, I feel like that makes a difference. Some light twists. I'm not going to go through the whole thing with you, but I do them every single morning. And then I try to do them in the evening, which doesn't always happen. I'm human too. But I like to do those twice a day. I also have like a pull-up bars, and I hang from that 2-3 times a day, 2-3-4 times a day. Every time I walk by it, I try to hang there for about 10 seconds, and that stretches out your spine. So understand that as we continue, like if you're running, you're like often walking, sitting, like we're always putting pressure on our spine. Very few people will sit in the position to take that spine off, or to take that pressure off your spine. Hanging or laying on your back in certain positions really make a big difference. So I would definitely consider that. Even like if you're watching this, even maybe you're not dealing with chronic pain, or maybe don't have any lower back issues, but just think about the future. This could be, 40, 50, 80 years of that chronic pressure being put on your lower back. That's why so many people, like when I asked the question, who deals with lower back pain? Almost everyone. I was shocked. I had no idea how many people deal with lower back pain on a regular basis. That's why I would like to put together a little bit of a program just so we can learn from each other, have a conversation. We put everyone in a private group. I'll share some of the things that helped me, just like this show. I'll share some of the things that's helped other people. But I think that would have that supportive community of people talking back and forth and having these conversations of what can actually make a difference. Because I mentioned before, I don't feel like we don't have to deal with chronic pain. Like I gotta feel, and I know everyone's at different levels, but I really feel like we can make a difference. And maybe you're at excruciating pain, and maybe we can find a way to lessen that pain. Like I feel like if you don't take that accountability, if you don't take that responsibility, I definitely feel like it'll get worse if we don't commit to making a change and making a difference. At least from my own experience, that's what I felt. That's the difference that I was able to feel like that I've made as I continually get better. Like I'm trying new stretches. I know I want to do this show so I could remind myself, like, these are the things that helped me. These are the things that made a difference for me. I want to keep making a change. I want to keep improving and getting better. But I didn't feel like I could do much more while I had all that pain. I didn't feel like anytime I tried to push myself a little bit, the pain came back in a big way. Like I said, it came back in an angry fashion. But now that chronic pain is gone, I'm still in discomfort. I don't have full flexibility. I don't do all the exercises I'd like to do, but it's getting much better. And I feel like because that pain, like that chronic excruciating pain is gone, now I can make some better steps forward. But you should definitely check out that book. And then if you get a chance, if you guys are listening to this and if you're around anywhere where that has the Agostku Method practitioners, like, it's a certification. You can actually go and train and teach people how to improve their posture and their spine. And a lot of it is lower back issues. So if you have chronic lower back issues, I know you have the ability to visit Agostku Clinic. I would definitely recommend that as well. All right. That's it. That was a good one. That was a big one. Thank you so much for hanging out here with me. Thank you for listening to some of my truth. I feel like that's all we can do these days, is share our own truth and share our own perspective, and avoid those people that don't want to allow you to share your own perspective on life and perspective and doing the things that you want to do. Our sugar detox is rocking. I know some of you are in our sugar detox. Thank you so much for joining us and participating and being rock stars. If you're not in our sugar detox, or if you want to check out Detoxify Yourself now or in the future, it's only $20. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good investment in your health. And I don't think I have anything else. We have new products. We have a new mag flavor coming up here next week. Check out the mag group for those details. And then we have two other, we released bath flakes and another superfood. So we got lots going on, lots coming up. It's going to be a crazy fall. And the weather in Alberta has been beautiful. I've been in LA the last 2 years, so I missed the fall, which I've never, not really a fall. I could care less about the fall in most cases. I'm a summer guy. I love the sunshine. I love the ocean. I love the hot weather. I don't love winter or snow. But I really enjoyed, because in LA, it's still hot there. It's like September, could be hot in October still, like summer hot. So didn't bother me that I was missing the fall, especially because I think it's usually cold and windy and miserable in Alberta in the fall, but it's been beautiful. I feel like the fall has been better than the summer. Like, we came back here at the end of summer and it wasn't all that pleasant. Smoke and mosquitoes, some people dealing with allergies. But I'm really grateful for this fall, and the leaves have been beautiful, and we went on some hikes and got out and experienced some fresh air and a break from technology and media. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm out of here. Have a wonderful day. Reach out if you have any chronic pain issues that I can help with, or I can send you to someone that can help with. And I wish you all the best in reducing that chronic pain. I hope some of these tips may have helped. Adios. All right, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Exploring Mind and Body
Once again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for tuning in and being a part of our True Form Life community. You can always find us on Facebook.com/TrueFormLife. We post up there a couple times a day on our story. We're always trying to bring you more content around living a healthy lifestyle, whether that be nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, and more. We also have free challenges that we do at least once a month. So if you follow us along there, you'll be able to join maybe a plank challenge or a squat challenge, Tabata challenge, whatever it may be. We'd love to have you join us. We're also on Instagram.com/DrewTadia. Again, we're posting up there a couple times a day along with our story, all dedicated to keeping you fit and healthy and on track. Our main website is trueformlife.com. If you want to check out some of our products, some of our services, or if you just want some great content from videos to blog posts and recipes and more, we got all that at trueformlife.com. Once again, thank you so much for being here. That's it. That's all I got. I'm out of here. As always, I'm your host, Drew Tadia, in health and fitness for a better world. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Exploring Mind and Body with True Form Life's Drew Tadia, fitness expert. To find out more about the show, Drew Tadia, or to listen to past shows, visit exploringmindandbody.com.